accessing the logo, so just count down from 10.
You want me to talk?
Yes. Count down from 10.
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Again? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, drop it. John?
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2.
And put Mark up with him. Mark?
Yes, 1, 2, check 1, 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let me check his mic pack.
All right. Yeah, just check his mic back.
He
Make
sounds
sure.
weird, right?
It sounded weird.
For John?
No.
Mark?
Oh yeah, check his mic back real quick.
It's fine. You're good.
Good?
All right. Because it doesn't sound different from last week, does it?
Mark, talk again?
Yes, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good.
All right.
Okay, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again, Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, John R. Hydus, where the R stands for Rated R Superstar, and I think we have another exciting, enigmatic show for you this afternoon. So we're going to talk about a number of topics, as always. One thing that we're going to touch on is the Jersey City Employment and Training Program. As you know, this is something we've been chatting about for weeks, and that whole situation is a new wrinkle where the New Jersey Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office of New Jersey have received a letter from a laid-off employee claiming that there needs to be financial improprieties looked into by the current acting executive director, and that's Sudan Thomas, who you guys also know as the president of the Jersey City Board of Education. Beyond that, speaking of the Jersey City Board of Education, we also had a very interesting story where a speaker at the meeting, who was actually the Republican candidate for sheriff, made remarks that many on the board deemed homophobic, and as a result, she has had to pay some dividends for that, and we will give you the particulars of that exclusively reported story. On top of that, and what I believe only Hudson County View has reported as of this rolling, I've heard from Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver that was at a boat ride from Weehawken to Hoboken, and she said in her own words that New York Waterway and Union Dry Dock, quote unquote, is going to happen. So that's obviously something that a lot of people in the Mile Square City, especially the Maxwell Place residents, I'm certain want to hear more. So we will speak to you about that at length as well. I'm going to be joined with my colleague Mark Bucinich, who covered both of those stories, and we're going to make sure that we go through every nook and cranny and let you guys know what happened there. But first, we are just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
And we're back, Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm John Arhidis, and as promised, here is my colleague, Mark Bucinich. So Mark has had a pretty good week, as I think most of you have noticed. But before we get into those two stories in particular, let's take a few moments here, Mark, to talk about JCETP, of course, the Jersey City Employment and Training Program. So it was just maybe less than 24 hours after our previous show, we had a report that I was working on about the new executive director and this now laid off employee, and she's making some pretty bold allegations, as you and probably everybody watching knows. And just for those of you that haven't kept up to speed, though, the allegation said financial irregularities needed to be investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office of the New Jersey Attorney General. As I said at the beginning, the boldest allegation here, the one that I think people need to have on their radar, is this woman, Nuria Saria. She worked at the agency for 22 years. She's claiming that Sudan Thomas did 3 checks to cash, and that was $16,500 total between April and May of this year. So, Mark, obviously that was something that I don't think too many people were expecting, even with all the controversy around JCETP recently.
Yeah, when I saw the headline, John, I said, wow, another story related to the Jersey City Education and Training Program.
Employment and Training, yeah.
Employment, I should say. Sorry, I apologize for that mispronunciation there. But this time it didn't have to do with the former executive director, former mayor, governor, that is, Jim McGreevey, but it has to do with the current Jersey City Board of Education president, Sudan Thomas. And I was really surprised when I saw that he had total amount of $16,500 worth of checks that were written. In fact, when I was and you mentioned, I was at the Jersey City Board of Education meeting on Monday, and I did ask him if he wanted to reply to the suit or legal matter that's being issued by Nuria Sierra, and he said, well, no, he didn't want to comment, I guess understandably so, because of this legal issue now that is going on.
Yeah, and I mean, a little color also for our audience. There was actually a JCETP meeting last week, and I attended, and it was not a long meeting, maybe 40 minutes at the most. But I did ask the question to the board council as to how they're going to proceed forward with this. Like, is this something that they're in contact with the authorities, or board members taking any sort of reactive measures or proactive measures even? And essentially all the council would say is that we're just going to wait and see. And they said, that's something that has potential for litigation, and we're not going to discuss it here.
Right,
So
of course.
obviously, that doesn't give us a whole lot of color, but certainly these are, allegations you don't see every day. Fair to say, Mark?
I think that is fair to say, and it'll be interesting to see how this develops, John.
Yeah, so we also should point out to you, if you don't already know, that on July 30th, that'll be the next JCETP meeting. So who knows what's going to happen there, but they still obviously are doing their executive director search. It's supposed to be a national search. We know that Mr. Thomas has put his name in the hat. I'm sure some people affiliated with the former governor, Mr. McGreevey, as you mentioned, have their name in there as well. And then I'm sure there's also probably at least a handful of people that have nothing to do with Hudson County politics that have also applied. I mean, I haven't seen that list. But I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a very large and robust talent pool, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say, John, I'm looking forward to covering the next meeting for sure.
It definitely looks like something to look forward to put it mildly. So we're gonna actually jump back to a break because we're gonna spend a little more time on this Jersey City Board of Education meeting that we've been alluding to already. So we're just gonna have you guys sit back for a moment. We'll be right with you.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
I don't want you to call me homophobic or all of those words that people call the people that think different from them. But on the Article 4, I just noticed that you gave 1 whole month for these LGBT people. When teachers don't get a whole month to be recognized by the Jersey City people, by the Jersey City Board, you praising a whole month of LGBT and you don't praise the firefighters. You don't praise the students for a whole month. You don't praise a lot of people that needs to be recognized by this board. I think it's a little exaggeration of you for giving the LGBT a whole month of recognition. So you need to work on your agenda and make it shorter and give at least a week for the teachers, a week for the students, and give them 1 day. Why a whole month? What do you think to do with the LGBT people in 1 whole month? They gonna dance? What they gonna teach the kids of the public schools? What the kids are gonna learn from this group? Excuse me.
Your time is up.
Why are you making me afraid?
Recently, it is my opinion that the thin skin that covers a lot of prejudice has been peeled away. And people have felt now they have the opportunity to say whatever they want about whatever group of people. And people can deny it's racist or homophobic or anything else, but that's exactly what it is. When you come out and you say the gays need an extra month so they can dance, that's offensive. As the only openly gay member on this board, possibly the only gay member, I find it very offensive that you would think the gays want a month so we can come out and dance. If you said that about any other group, about what the blacks would want to do, the Hispanics want to do, the Jewish people want to do, and you took some kind of a stereotype and associated with that, it would be offensive. And I find it very offensive. And I hope that everyone here finds it offensive, because this is the type of statements that allow people to continue their prejudice and hatred. And as a gay person, who I'm 60, it came out when I was 14, I've never been more fearful of what's going on in this country with gay rights than I am today.
Hudson County View live and uncut, John R. Haitis and Mark Bucinich. So, ladies and gentlemen, you probably have all seen that clip by now, but that was, of course, Adela Rojeda, and she was the Republican candidate for sheriff. That is until yesterday afternoon, maybe late morning. And, well, Mark, you could say it better than I can on this one. Kudos to you on a fantastic grab. Obviously, we were the first ones to put that out, and you got some, let's just say, very compelling footage. So tell us how it went down.
Yeah, well, first of all, John, I'm sorry I ruined our chances for the Republican
Sheriff nomination.
Sheriff nomination, but I mean, it was incredible. That moment was pretty remarkable, and so it required some filming. And as you said, many of our viewers already seen. Prior to her speaking, it was mostly parents and teachers who were speaking about the issue regarding the recently fired Principal Kate McCabe at McNair Academic High School. And so we were expecting people, other reporters that were there, we were expecting that maybe there would be more teachers and parents going up to the mic to say their piece about wanting to rehire or not to rehire Miss McCabe. But then Miss Adela Rojeda walked up to the mic and at first was talking about you know, some of the violence that's happening in the school, or in the streets rather, and how Jersey City students and children and teenagers are unfortunately falling victim to violence, which you obviously reported on this week. Another shooting took place, unfortunately.
Yes.
And but then she then kind of shifted gears and then said that she was not happy and questioning the board why the board and the Jersey City Public School District celebrated Pride Month, which is the whole month of June, and but it just, you know, it's just not the school district that celebrates Pride Month. It's the whole country, obviously, and
yes, it's a nationwide event.
Nationwide celebration, not just restricted to one school district. So, and so we filmed her remarks. And then after she spoke, we had an opportunity to interview her to ask her about why she made those comments, and she made the point to say that she didn't want her comments and her remarks to be construed as or to be labeled as homophobic. But I mean, obviously the response from the board members, particularly from openly gay member Jerry Lyons, they were obviously offended by what she said. So
yeah, I mean, it looked, from what I saw, it looked like Trustee Lyons was fit to be tied, to put it nicely.
Yeah, in fact, when she was walking out, or when she was speaking rather, and she started to say, I mean, it was one point that, again, I had to like check the clip to make sure, to check what I thought I heard. She said, well, why are you celebrating Pride Month for a whole month, so that the LGBT community can dance?
Yeah, she said they're going to dance. What are they going to teach the kids of the public schools? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously a pretty strong statement, to put it, again, mildly.
Yeah, for sure, John, without a doubt. And at that point, that's when board trustee Jerry Lyons got up and said he had enough, and he walked out to demonstrate as a form of demonstration, protest against her comments.
Yes. So now, with that context given, and he got a ton of support. Actually, I think it's also worth mentioning before we move a step forward. He got a ton of support online. You know, you took the time to cut that video, post it on our Twitter page, and
Yes.
it's gotten dozens of likes and retweets and shares, follows. So, you know, it seemed like people, generally speaking, were really, really impressed and really supportive of his remarks. But with that said, the interesting aftermath of this was, unbeknownst to many, that, you know, Miss Rojeda was actually running for sheriff. That's no longer the case. She has since dropped out of the race because the GOP of Hudson County said that they're not going to back her, and as a result, they're supporting Frank Scialleri, who's seeking his 5th term, and he's a Democrat. So it's funny how things go full circle here, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, John. I mean, I saw that story that you wrote and posted, and obviously the reaction and the repercussions for Ms. Rojeda seemed to be pretty quick and swift, and so the Hudson County Republican GOP will be backing Scialleri in the November election.
Yeah, so I mean, that was an awfully quick turnaround. I mean, less than 24 hours. I mean, only in Hudson County, right? So with that said, folks, we're going to take another break. Just stick with us. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-27.
Are you confident that, and he did mention during his talk actually, that he's looking forward to being able to use the ferry terminal at Union Dry Dock, and I know the governor's office has been involved in negotiations between both sides. Are you confident that Mr. Imperatore and New York Waterway will eventually be able to set up shop there?
I am, and you know, it is getting increasingly difficult for people to travel and to commute, and having the opportunity to do this through Hoboken, it is going to happen.
You believe so?
I believe so.
And even though Hoboken city officials and residents have expressed concern that they would rather that be an open waterfront park, what do you say to their concerns about that?
I think that compromise can be had. And, you know, I think that with all sides sitting around the table, we will come up with something that works for everyone.
All right, Hudson County View, live and uncut. John Arhitis, Mark Bucinich. So, Mark, I think it's safe to say we could pack a nice tag team punch. Another great story from you on this one. That's, again, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver saying New York Waterway at Union Dry Dock is going to happen, and you know, there you had the video right in front of your faces. No disputing what that was about. I mean, were you at all surprised that that was the end result when you asked that question?
Well, John, it was interesting because, like, as our viewers saw, you know, I was interviewing the Lieutenant Governor on the maiden voyage of the Susan B. Anthony ferry, and of all places, where do you think the maiden voyage culminated? It was at Union Dry Dock. Didn't dock there, but obviously the ferry traveled there and then turned around, and so it seemed kind of apropos when we asked her about the Union Dry Dock issue that given what she had said during her opening remarks and what Arthur Imperatore had said about how New Jersey Transit and other major transportation agencies in the New York metropolitan area rely on New York Waterway when there's any kind of disruption in mass transit. And then I said to her, you know, plainly, are you confident that New York Waterway will be able to set up shop their ferry maintenance terminal that is at Union Dry Dock? And she said that she was confident and certain that it will happen. Yes, I mean, that's a pretty sound recounting of what happened based on what I saw. So obviously there's some backlash. I mean, you know, we've seen, again, this is doing another story doing quite well on social media. We see a lot of people there that you've mentioned as environmentalists and activists, residents, and a couple officials as well, I believe. You know, very, I think they feel slighted that Lackawanna Terminal really isn't getting any consideration here. I know you did ask her specifically about the terminal, but you did ask her about those concerns, and just tell us a little about that. I mean, I know it wasn't a long answer, but still. Yeah, no, we did. You know, we were quick to ask her to follow up because she seems so sure that the New York Waterway will be setting up shop at the Union Dry Dock, that is. But then we informed her, and she's well aware too of the strong protests. I mean, remember there was we covered back in the spring. There was practically an all-day rally march that is by Hoboken residents, environmentalists, and even Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala was in front of the march as a form of protest to save Union Dry Dock. So we said, you know, there's been a very vocal opposition to New York Waterway setting up there, and then she just said in response that, well, you know, we think that we could have everybody sitting at the table and that there can be a compromise between both parties.
Sure. Now, listen, do you think it's at all possible that maybe the lieutenant governor is not intimately involved with these discussions between Trenton and Hoboken, and perhaps she was just speaking off the cuff?
It very well could be, because she had just, you know, in her opening remarks, she commended Arthur Imperador, the president and CEO, the founder of New York Waterway, for having the vision, being a pioneer, like after the deindustrialization of the waterfront, the Hudson County coastline, especially along Jersey City, Hoboken, Weehawken, and of course, that he saw that eventually, though, that property would be redeveloped and there would be a need to ferry commuters back and forth. So maybe she was just responding. She may not have been really privy to the strong opposition that's been emanating from the community.
Sure. I mean, I guess in all likelihood we'll never really know with 100% certainty, but it's always fun to speculate, especially in Hoboken.
Of course.
Not that they would ever do that. But so anyway, you know, and everybody that's going to see this probably knows there's no love lost between New York Waterway and Mayor Bala over this. You know, infamously, I believe it was already year and a half ago when they were talking about the Lackawanna terminal. He said it was over my dead body when he let New York Waterway into the Union Dry Dock site. I mean, up to this point, that has been true, but there's a long road ahead. I mean, he's called for another eminent domain proceeding, which hasn't happened yet, but the council only meets once a month in the summer, as you know, and probably all you guys watching know. And also, you know, there's that court proceeding. You know, Hudson County Superior Court judge is going to have a hearing Monday morning, so we'll obviously be reporting on that, but you know, who knows where this thing is going to go. I mean, it's already been dragged out for many years. I mean, I believe the first time I really heard about this was all the way back in like 2012, but I'm pretty sure it predates me as well. So it's going to be fun to see where it goes. Ladies and germs, we're going to take a quick break. Stick with us, we're almost there.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office space and an address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation. On-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. 201-521-9000 or visit on the web at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Introducing the My JCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free My JCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The My JCMC app. We belong to you.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
And here we are, Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Hydus, Mark Vucinic. So, Mark, a somewhat rare story out of Union City. Usually fairly civil political discourse there, since there's really no opposition for State Senator and Mayor Brian Stack. But this time, we have a ruling from the appellate court, and that says that there was a conflict between two members that sat on the zoning board. That's Victor Gruat and Margarita Gutierrez, who served as vice president and CEO of the Brian P. Stack Civic Association, respectively. And for that reason, it's getting kicked back down to the lower court. So, obviously, you know, we hear in Hudson County all the time about patronage and about, you know, conflicts of interest, and all the times that people say that freebies happen, I guess if you want to use a term that we hear around here. But in this instance, it looks like a judge is saying, no way, Jose, not this time. And coincidentally, the judge's name is Jose Fuentes. But with that said, it's just, it's something that you hear about all the time, but this is one of the few times I've seen any actual action taken on something like this. I mean, what are your thoughts, just giving it a cursory read?
Yeah, just briefly, John. I mean, like you said, I mean, not much. A little bit surprised to read that this story is coming out of Union City. As you said, for the most part, things seem to be running, seems to be, I guess, smooth sailing in that particular municipality, but this obviously seems a little bit troubling, and wondering what Mayor Brian Stack's remarks or response has been thus far.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the city spokeswoman didn't get back to us when we emailed for comment. It happens, no big deal. But yeah, I guess we're just going to be left guessing. I mean, this isn't the end, just to be clear. Obviously, the lower court, like I said, will have to rule again. But the judge did not agree with the preliminary ruling. The appellate judge, that is, did not agree with that preliminary ruling. He said that there should have been more detail and I guess really more care given to some of the testimony and some of the people involved. I mean, there was a lot of interesting things said throughout the court testimony. I mean, this was actually filed in Superior Court all the way back at the end of 2015, if my memory serves me correctly. So this has been a long time coming.
Wow.
And for them to reach this conclusion is certainly something that's pretty considerable in Hudson County and beyond, because think about it, when we're talking about planning boards, zoning boards, boards of education, I mean, these are all people that usually are involved politically, and they work campaigns, sometimes they have jobs at the town or city halls. So this could set quite a major precedent, Mark. I mean, would you agree with that sentiment?
For sure, John. I mean, I guess what evolved with this particular incident that caught the attention of the courts?
Yeah, so on that, this was all a lawsuit filed by a local business owner. It was actually a married couple that owns a live meat and poultry market, and they were trying to get a new location about, I believe that was 25th and Central, and it was only about 2 blocks from their original location on Bergen Line Avenue, I believe that was. And there was a public campaign by the mayor to get this project voted down, and they found this particularly troubling because they said in court testimony that Mayor Stack told them in a private meeting about 4 or 5 months prior that he had no problem with the project, but it was up to the zoning board. Then all of a sudden, about a week or within maybe even days of the meeting, Mayor Stack, as he's known to do, sent out flyers, did a massive lit drop, coming out adamantly against the project, and it did ultimately get voted down. And again, these 2 commissioners I mentioned, Gruat and Gutierrez, are part of the Brian P. Stack Civic Association, so that calls into question whether or not they should have had to recuse themselves. So obviously this appellate judge feels that they should have, but whether or not that is going to hold up in the long term, I guess only God knows, but I guess we'll keep our eye on it and we'll let you know. And before we go, Mark, I also wanted to mention that there was an appellate court decision that just came out this morning in North Bergen.
Right.
Of course, there was some interesting fallout and fodder during the North Bergen municipal races, needless to tell you. But there was a pending appeal with the court regarding the school referendum. That's a $60 million school expansion project there. The judge upheld the previous court's decision that the wording of the ballot question was totally appropriate and accurate and reflected what the school district planned to do. So it'll be interesting to see if they move forward. So with that said, folks, I think we've basically hit our time. We're actually not going to be with you in August because there is going to be some improvements going on at the studio, but we'll see you after Labor Day. Mark, thanks for coming. Everyone else,
again.
we'll see you soon. We'll see you in the field.